so that they are brought to a place in their life where they're isolated, they're broke, they're unemployed, they have no family, they have no friends, and nobody in the general public can track or trace friends life where they're isolated, they're broke, they're unemployed, they have no family, they have no friends, and nobody in the general public can track or trace anything.
This is the real TIs, y'all.
That's being done to them because the technology is remote and it's wireless, and there's usually no physical signs left on the individual that it's anything, and it's wireless, and track or trace anything that's being done to them because the technology is remote and it's wireless, and there's usually no physical signs left on the individual that it's anything is being done to them. And the interaction with game stalkers within the community, there is no.
Now, I'll tell you one thing, though. Let me go get some x-rays. If they scan this, if they scan my body, we can prove it. You see what I'm saying? But you need that money to go get those MRIs and stuff. Let me go get a whole body scan. You know what I'm saying? And we can start proving some stuff. That they're using high technology, satellite weaponry.
Done to them. And the interaction with game stalkers within the community, there is no physical evidence that any game stalking ever went on. They are specifically instructed, do not slash anyone's tires. Don't, vandalize their house. That is not the point of the program. The point of the program is to have maximum psychological effect and leave the minimal amount of evidence.
And that right there is key. But there are circumstances where some people do get their car vandalized. Now, as far as my situation, they just like to break in, and move stuff around or something. Like I told you before in the past, they used to unzip my bag and stuff like that. So they'll just do things like that. They used to take the air out the tire. They do stuff like that. But if you watch Gang Stalk in Australia, of course he's in Australia. So the gang stalking is a lot more physical. Because they was bashing his whole crib up. If you go watch his old videos, he had to, basically, he had, like that shed. You know that shed that the stores put when they close and when they open up the store, they got that gated to protect their business while, like usually in New York and like the cities, you know what I'm saying? But that's what Gang Stalking in Australia had on his crib. And then the funny thing about it, I remember he had a video. He had a video of people, these I don't know what kind of officers they were, but they came to his crib and they was trying to gaslight him, saying, why is your house like this? Like, is something wrong with you? Like, why do you have all this gated house, windows? Why your windows is all boarded up? They was trying to gaslight him, but he got it all on film. That these gang stalkers ride up and be throwing bricks at his windows and stuff. You see what I'm saying? That was in Australia though. But what my man right here is saying, this is the most part right here. This is like the major key for most TIs. They do their best to leave minimal amount of evidence. Because remember, this is a psychological warfare. If you got video footage of them damaging your property, then that's not going to stick to the psychological warfare. You see what I'm saying? Remember, the key is for them to say you're crazy. But if you got footage of somebody actually tampering with your car, your home, then that just throw the program out the window. They don't want that. That's the reason why they use what? Wireless weaponry. That's why he said all this stuff is wireless. You know what I'm saying? That's being done to you. Let me play it again. For the slow dudes in the back.
Nobody in the general public can track or trace anything that's being done to them because the technology is remote and it's wireless. And
there you have it. The technology is remote neural monitoring. You know what I'm saying? Broadcasted. They're using you as a cell phone. We're all a cell phone. Everybody. Because if they're reading my mind, then who's reading the bot's minds? You see what I'm saying? The bot's minds is being read too. So this is just a domino effect. This is some type of big hive mind game. Cell game that's going on. and privacy don't exist. I'm going to. I told you before, and I say it again. Privacy never existed. We never had it. You thought you had it. That was just a part of the illusion. How long has this remote wireless technology been on this earth? Been on here ain't nothing new under the sun. That's what the Bible says. So it been here. You just now remember the so-called Christopher Columbus. He discovered America for himself, even though they say he never even landed on America. They say he got lost, but let's just say hypothetically he did land on America. He discovered it for himself. It wasn't the fact that he discovered the land. It was people just sitting there chilling. It was something new. It's the same with anything else. If you learn algebra, you just discovered algebra for yourself. You just found out about it. You see what I'm saying? That don't mean that it's new. The math been here. It's new to you. Just like this technology, this gang stalking, is only new to the new TI. It's only new to the new TI. If you just got activated, you be like, man, I ain't know nothing about this. Right. Now you just now discovered it. How did you discover it? Because you became a target, and they brought it to your attention now. But you see what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is the technology is old. It's been here. It's been here.
There's usually no physical signs left on the individual that anything's being done to them. And the interaction with GameStop.
And that's the reason why they try to be so slick with it. When they out about, they all around you and everything, but they try to make it seem like, everything's normal. We going shopping, they be walking around you with a bunch of Target bags and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Everything is normal, but they all crisis actors.
Within the community, there is no physical evidence that any gang stalking ever went on. They are specifically instructed, do not slash anyone's tires. Don't, vandalize their house. That is not the point of the program. The point of the program is to have maximum psychological effect and leave the minimal amount of evidence.
See, and that right there is key too. Because a lot of these people always say, well, why didn't they, if they was after you, man, this the dumb dude in the back. Man, they was after you, man. The gang stalkers was after, they would have been on gotcha. That's not the point of the program. You dumb idiot, you. The point of the program is to get you 302. That's the point. They it's all about experimentation on their gadgets. This is like a show and tell thing with the Beast. The Beast got a fetish with his little new gadgets, and they just tested it on people to see what worked and what don't work. They know it's going to work on a lot of the bots and the NPCs, but they know there's a few of us out here that they ain't going to work on. So they gotta use you as the guinea pig, and then they test it on you. They say, "Oh man, it ain't working. We got to tighten it up. We got to tighten up the machine." But what can we do? We got to add a little bit more bolts and screws. Turn up the frequency and get this thing to work. You see what I'm saying? So when they be talking about that crap, talking about, oh man, why they ain't just take you out? Why they ain't do this? Look, it's not about just taking you out. I told you, this is a psychological warfare. They want you 302 so they can make even more money off of you. That's it. They want to mind control people. They want to turn people to maturing candidates. They want people to go out here and snap out and be under their mind control, so that they're under their hive mind, so that way I can just tell you what to do and you could just be my little puppet, my assassin. You see what I'm saying? Because they can make you, with this technology, they can make you a maturing candidate. You see what I'm saying? If they could break your will, you know what I mean? So
you can see how this hands-off policy, and this is a standard term that's used within the private security industry in terms of what security guards and security personnel are supposed to do in terms of a threat. You are supposed to maintain a hands-off policy at all costs until you absolutely must intervene physically or with use of force. And so that's kind of an industry term that's been adopted by gang stalkers as a hands-off policy against the TI. So
that's why it's called no touch torture program. Hands off. You see what I'm saying? That's why they be acting tough and whatever, acting like they're gonna do something, but they don't be doing nothing. It's a hands off. They really like to intimidate you so that way you could do something to them. They want you to go ahead and bust them upside the head.
That when that person ends up in a hospital or ends up physically deteriorated, they can't turn around and blame the gang stalkers because they were never quote unquote touched or physically harmed by them, even though all of the harm that's done to TIs is done by the gang stalkers, it's done by the federal government that endorses this program, and it's done by the technology, and therefore the gang stalkers, the technology, and the federal government is liable and responsible 100% for everything that's been done to the TI.
You damn right. You damn right. Because they're all responsible. They all are in cahoots of the program. We are talking the whole alphabet gang and the bots. The blood is on the bots' hands as well. Everybody going to hell.
Nobody advertises, on Craigslist that we're hiring you to harass and torture people. It's just not done. And I can speak personally for myself, and I can speak personally for the people I worked with at SIS, that when you do first find out what's going on, you are disgusted by it. You cannot believe that this is what's going on.
No.
There is also a very quick, almost a peer pressure induced acceptance of it that causes you to say, this is pretty cool. And I'm just being flat out honest here about the psychology that's going on within these people's minds. It's pretty cool. We're part of the group. We're part of the massive army of people that is going to be okay no matter what, because we're on the right side of this, because we're the people with all the power. We're the people that with ties to the intelligence agencies. We're the people with ties to the government. We're the people that are going to be okay no matter what, because we are willing to violate the law to get away with whatever we want to get away with. And our superiors and our bosses are as well. So as long as we make them happy and we do our job, we're going to have a pretty good life. And I can tell you that this is exactly what is done to people almost immediately upon the revealing of what is really going on. They are offered a series of incentives. They're offered,
told y'all.
First of all, acceptance into the group. They're offered acceptance into what will be the future of America, that you will be set, you and your girlfriend, or if you're married, you and your wife, your husband.
So they all been deceived. Everybody been deceived. The bots done took the mark of the beast. They already sold themselves to hell. They already sold themselves. So just let them go ahead. Every dog shall have his day. Obviously, they're under mind control. They don't know no better.
Your children are going to be taken care of. You're going to make a lot of money. You're going to have brand new cars every couple of years. Your kids are going to go to the best schools, and you are going to be connected.
And this all deception. These gang stalkers that's gang stalking me, their kids ain't going to no best schools. They ain't got no money. The beast is lying to these chumps.
Term. And at this point, it really does take on almost an organized crime.
I don't know what happened to Chris. Anybody seen Chris?
Feel to it, because what you're dealing with are people that are pleasing their boss in order to do something that is absolutely illegal. They're monitoring and harassing and torturing and sometimes leading to the death of American citizens. They're violating their civil rights. They're violating their human rights. They're violating basic human decency. This is horrible stuff that's being done to people. And so you have to understand the psychological aspect that goes into convincing gang stalkers and people that are part of the program to do what they're doing. It is in fact, the psychological operation that is run against gang stalkers themselves and people that participate in the program is just as advanced, if not more so, than the psychological program that is run against TIs. It absolutely is. And so what you have is this very intense psychological program that's run. In fact, one of the things that I'm not sure people are aware of, but I'm trying to cover this on my site because I have direct knowledge of it, hive minds, voice to skull, emotion manipulation behavior, modification technology is being used against the gang stalkers themselves and against people in the program. And it is being used to assist them in doing their job, specifically to take away their conscience, specifically to take away their empathy and their sympathy for the individual, for the targeted individual.
I told y'all, if they using all this technology on the TI, then what are they doing to the bots to make them do it? They gotta be putting these people under hive mind control, a hive mind control,
so that they don't feel bad,
right?
So that they don't feel guilty about what they're doing. They are many times intelligence agents and soldiers are trained to get the empathy and the sympathy out of their system, because you're going to be asked to kill someone for us. You're going to have to go on the battlefield and shoot someone, and you're going to shoot them just because we tell you to shoot them. And so a lot of the stuff that goes on in basic training and in terms of training intelligence operatives is designed specifically to make sure that people will pull the trigger when they need to.
That's
and
right.
Stuff like human decency and love and compassion and empathy and sympathy and caring for your fellow human being does not enter into the decision-making process. And so the exact same thing is done within the program, within the Voice to Skull gang stalking program.
I'm gonna stop it right there, man. I see we almost at 17-minute mark. I'm gonna do another half. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, y'all. Holla biz at.